This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and welcome to a special performance gears review or comparison on two Titans. And today we're looking at the Kobe 1 Protro and what I'm calling the Jordan 1 Protro. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the Kobe 1 Protro is what Kobe's affectionately calling a performance retro. Essentially, it is the Kobe 1, pretty much perfectly done as far as a retro is concerned with the quality of materials and how it's executed, except it's upgraded by being a little bit lighter simply because they took out a little bit of foam, and then they changed the cushioning up by giving it a full-length zoom airbag. Now, how does it fit? Fits like the Kobe 1. I don't know if you guys have any. I still have a dead stock pair, but essentially it fits pretty much true to most Kobe's, meaning it runs a little bit long and it's a little bit narrow. Now, even though it has a really wide forefoot as far as the outsole is concerned, your foot is actually sitting closer to in here. So I don't know if you can see right inside kind of these teeth here, but the fit, because it's a raw natural leather, is so nice. So many modern shoes nowadays are using either plastics and fuse or knits and wovens, and they're trying to get that supportive shoe that you don't have to break in, that moves with your foot. And honestly, just going natural with the leather, give it a little bit of break-in time. I think these took maybe an hour for it to feel really nice. It's naturally giving you a lot of support, and it moves with your foot because it's a skin. So the fit on this is really nice. Lockdown is there just because you can go all the way up. I actually did use the top lace loops, with I know a lot of folks sometimes only go right here if you prefer more of that low top feel. But either way, solid shoe. Definitely feels old school, but it works. Slightly on the heavier side, so that changing to the full length zoom and lightening the foam made a big difference compared to the original. But fit, I would recommend going up that half a size and you're gonna be good to go. The iconic Jordan 1. Now, this usually isn't taken into performance reviews just because this thing's over 30 years old. In fact, I want to say it's 20 years older than when the Kobe 1 came out. So this is definitely more along the lines of an upgraded Chuck Taylor. So this is not necessarily a performance model, but this is why I'm calling it the Protro 1 as far as the Jordan 1 Protro. And that's for a few reasons. One is because we're actually adding our Sneaker Gears performance Velosity insole. This uses a full-length cushion that's actually about twice the thickness of what they're using in the Kobe. And the reason this is the performance model is because we're coming out with just basic colorways, with the first edition just being black. Now, this is size specific, so let's get into fitting and see how that works with our Jordan 1. So the Jordan 1 is all leather. The fit on this, I would recommend going, again, true to size for casual use, but if you're going to be hooping in this, which you'll have a good reason why pretty soon, I'll tell you, is going up that half size so your foot has that room to breathe. There's no extra width in the forefoot. There's no actual outrigger. There's nothing except raw leather, but the nice thing about this is because it uses the just traditional lacing system right in the front here, if you have a high instep, doesn't matter, you can adjust that. And the way this thing locks you down is awesome. So you have these wings in the forefoot that really pull you down. You have your natural lacing system pulling you down here. And then if you notice the stitching coming through, this really does a great job pulling you back into the heel, and it's such a high top, it wraps around your ankle. So it's like you have these three completely separate lockdown lacing systems. So the fit on this is actually outstanding by performance measures. When nowadays you have a lot of shoes that are low tops or high tops where they lock you down or they lock you back, and you're getting everything on this. And the leather on this does take a little while to break in. If you get some of the higher quality Jordan 1s, the leather is going to be softer. This is actually, I believe, the 2011 version of the Shadow. So the newer 18 here does a much better, or 2013, does a much better job of actually being softer, and it breaks in much quicker. But all in all, I would say if you're going to rock these casually, go true to size. I can do a 12 on this. I have a wide foot, so it's a little tight, but the leather does break in. If I'm hooping, I want to wear one of my 12.5s or my 13 in my collection, and this thing works. So how's the support? And that's what really separates amongst the three top things here, the Jordan 1 versus the Kobe 1 as far as the Protro series goes. This is very, very basic. You can tell it's 30 years old. There's no shank plate. There's no carbon fiber. There's no additional, outrigger. It doesn't get wider in the forefoot for cuts. There's no additional plastic. There is nothing on this shoe in ways of actual support outside of one, you have multiple leather layers, so that's giving you the support. Just because leather itself is a skin, it's going to contain you. You have a pretty solid heel cup going all the way up, so you actually feel locked in. And the way the fit is, where it just holds you down on top, holds you back in, pulls you down, so you don't ever feel like you're actually going to leave the shoe or leave the footbed. So even though this is a very minimalist setup for a containment and for your support, it gets the job done, and it does it in a way that feels light on your foot, and it's very fluid. So it's an old school, and it felt kind of weird, and I wouldn't play with this unless we did upgrade that cushion, but the support on this is minimal, but it works. Let's get into the Kobe. All right, so the Kobe 1 support is, yeah, you got a lot of support. You have what appears to be a hugely wide forefoot, and really that's not the case. Your foot really sits in here. You have that gigantic outrigger. You can kind of see how that comes out, and you can just see where it juts out right there. So it really is coming out. You have these foam teeth where your foot actually sits inside of this. You have that extra layer of support that's not only for toe drags, but also just jab stepping of that extra layer of suede. Or this could be, you know, what is it, nubuck, whatever you want to call it. But you have a carbon fiber shank, so you don't have any additional, you have additional rigidity here. It's not going to flex on you. You have a carbon fiber kind of heel cup, but really you have a stiffer heel cup internally as well. And then on top of that, obviously you have a lacing structure that's going all the way up. So a ton of support, and it's really funny if you look at something like this and you work your way down the Kobe line all the way to the new Kobe 360, where you don't need all this support. Now, depending on what kind of player you are, maybe you like that support, and maybe it's something that's going to help you or give you confidence. In that regard, this is not short on giving you a supportive shoe for any needs you might have. Now, that support really gives a similar model, if you're looking for a 2018 version, is something like the Westbrook, where you have a crazy amount of support and you have very similar cushion setup. So let's get into the cushion. All right, so that's the creme de la creme of this guy, the full length cushion. That's why this is a Protro. That's why I'm calling that the Jordan 1 Protro. The full length cushion on this is just so fluid. Now, it's using a Zoom bag that's about half the thickness of the original Kobe 1. Now, the Kobe 1 had a heel airbag and a meta bag that was kind of like a circle right under the ball of your foot. So having a full length Zoom bag, even though it's thinner, one, it's top loaded, so you feel that a lot nicer, similar to how the Velosity Cushioning works on the performance insoles from Sneaker Gears. And it just makes it a lot closer to the ground. You feel quick, but it's giving you that impact protection with a little bit less foam. The transitions on this are just so smooth. Really like playing in this a lot more than what I thought I would, just because I knew it was using a thin Zoom bag. And honestly, it plays very similar to your Why Nots. Your Jordan Why Not at 125, I believe it is. That is giving you a very similar setup to this with a full length cushion, with a little bit more support, obviously for a lot less money. What you're getting with this is the raw materials, obviously a classic Kobe look, and then the outsole, and we'll talk about that in a second. Let's get on to the Jordan. All right, so the Jordan 1 really has no cushioning. And if you're thinking about where are they going to do an actual Jordan 1 Protro like Kobe did, and the answer to that is really no. And that is because after the Jordan 30, Jordan really reset, and your Protro line is really your 31 for your 1 and your 32 for your 2. So obviously, hopefully you can see a lot of similarities here. And this, they did add full length zoom. They did give you a proper knit upper, a leather backing. But the biggest difference on this, which wasn't a home run for a lot of people, is the traction. They really missed out on it when this traction is just crazy. And we'll get into it in a second. But if you're looking to add this cushioning to this shoe, we have what you need right here. All right, so the Sneaker Gears Velosity Cushioning is going to be available in a few different setups. So the first of which is going to be our performance setup, which is just going to be basic colors. Now, if I just stack these on top, you're going to see it is pretty much the same thickness, around 9 millimeters, as a standard insole. So this is meant to replace your insole. Now, depending on what kind of fitting you like, if you want a little bit more snug, you can put this either on top of your insole or underneath, or just fully replace it. So in my fitting, the 13 on this is slightly big for performance size, so the 12.5 would have been a little bit better, but I like beating on this one. This is just one I use a lot more. So this I actually put underneath. Now this is going to give you a really bouncy ride. If you put it on top, it's even more bouncy. Now depending on what kind of shoe you have, because this has almost no cushioning, there's no foam underneath, you are getting a little bit more bounce. Depending how big you are, I'm running about 250 right now. I can lose a little bit of weight. You can, on certain motions, bottom this out, and that's under extreme circumstances. So I've been putting this through tests for about 4 to 5 months here with really no issues. If you have that kind of issue, again, on a performance setup, putting it under the insole is going to pretty much smooth out any issue you might have. So what happens when you add a full-length bouncy cushion setup to something with an amazing fit, and I guess we'll tease it now, and traction that is just wankers? You got a really fun shoe. This is something I was not expecting. I know the cushion was good. I know on the casual side it's going to be fantastic. But to add this to a shoe that you know has great traction, to add this to a shoe that the fit is just really nice, all of a sudden you have a proper performance shoe. And honestly, even though it's 30 years apart, to have this almost the same cushion, but that's right under your foot, so I would say this is going to be a bit better. Have something that has better traction, and have something where the fit works when you break it in with raw leather, and giving you a very similar setup to what your knit was doing on this guy. Dude, you got a baller here, and all of a sudden, all your retros, all the shoes that you really like, because obviously you can wear this casually, have a whole new use to it, because you can use this on the courts. So how's the traction on this compared to your Kobe? So the Kobe traction, this is probably one of the best buys this year in 2018, because this uses such a meaty setup. This rubber is firm, it is deep, it is thick. You can use this outdoors, different colorways, especially this one. You can use this casually just like you can a Jordan 1, obviously on court, but I love this traction because you're able to use this very reminiscent of like a 90s basketball shoe anywhere, anytime, on the court, off the court. So really love this traction. That's one of the biggest difference between this and the Jordan Why Not. You're spending $55 more, which is a jump, but you're getting a traction that's a lot more durable, that you can definitely wear outdoors. You're getting something that you can easily wear, I would say, a lot better casually with that raw leather upper, and it's just a different animal. Whereas the Why Not is a pure performance shoe. I almost give it no casual wear. This is something you can rock on and off the court. So let's talk about value between these two. All right, so off the bat, the Jordan 1 generally is about $160, but certain colorways, these are on sale for as low as 80 bucks. The orange Gatorade, I was able to get my pair for like, goodness, what is that, 89? The All-Star colorway from this year I've seen as low as 80. So if you're not looking for kind of one of these classic colorways, the Bread, the Shadows, the Royals, you're able to get these at a very good price. Not to mention you can get this in a high, a medium, or a low if you have certain preferences. So at $160, this is a little bit cheaper, and at the same time, even if you do want one of those colorways that are just fire, essentially you're spending maybe $200, $220, where you can get just an awesome shoe. Now, $175 plus tax, I mean, you're really touching on $200. These are a little bit harder to get, but even if you go on StockX or GOAT or eBay, generally you're right around that $200, $220 price mark, so you're not paying that much over. So I was going to say the value-wise is going to go to the Jordan 1. And if you're talking about streetwear, casual, and performance, I mean, casual, this is probably one of the best casual shoes you can ever buy. This thing, it's a Jordan 1. I mean, this you can go with anything. You can get almost any color. You can wear this to a wedding, and you can wear it to school. You can wear it on the courts now once you upgrade that cushioning. So value-wise, I'm going to go with the Jordan 1. Obviously, if they have colors coming out with this, if they come down with the price, this thing is phenomenal. Now, for the value, I still think this works so well just because that traction is going to last you a long time. But overall, price versus price, you're looking at this being a better value. Now, you may be asking, this is coming with everything you need. You're going to have to add the cushioning to this. So we are launching our pre-orders today for our Velosity Cushioned insoles. The performance gears are going to be launching at $36, but on pre-order, you can get them for $22. So not much to upgrade your Jordan 1. We are going to have our signature editions. They're going to have different styles and designs. I'm excited. I'll have some videos on that for you soon. Those are going to be $40, and those will be on pre-order for only $24. So you guys can get a really good deal. So even if you have some Jordan 1s right now, if you're looking at getting some that you want to also now wear as hoop shoes, this is the one you want to get. So your Kobe 1 Protro and your Jordan 1 Protro, these guys are both fire, and really playing with leather is is just weird and really nice. Just as pretty much every performance shoe nowadays is all knit. It's all different materials. So when you go with a classic, it just has a different feel, has a different level of support, and it actually feels really nice. It is definitely surprising. And it's kind of cool that you can take an older shoe that has such streetwear value and being able to use it on court while still having fun, protecting your knees, your back, and being able to be an actual performance model. I'm going to give the win today to the Jordan 1 Protro with the Sneaker Gears Performance Velocity Cushioned insoles, and that's just because the traction on this is phenomenal. Guys, sit in the comments below, but I would say this probably ranks in the top 3 traction of all Jordans, which is saying something because there's been 32 models already. But the traction is legit, the fit is nice, you add the cushion, and you still have a shoe that you can wear all the time. Guys, really appreciate your support. If you're looking to order the Velocity insoles, jump on sneakergears.com. We are launching our pre-orders now with shipments beginning probably towards the middle to end of fall. If you have any questions, hit me in the comments below. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. Let me know if you guys have any ideas, what you want to see. And I really appreciate your support. Really excited to have this launch. And I think it's really going to be a game changer for performance and casual people out there, whatever your needs are. So guys, girls, really appreciate you. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears, and we'll come at you soon.